I think, yes, it will, because I think that is what people are thinking about. People are thinking about not just the economy in general, but how it has an effect on their daily lives, and while it's allegedly moving upwards, in whatever direction, I think many people are still a little bit concerned about how their daily lives might improve on it. So they might use what they've learned with and through the Occupy movement as a way of strengthening their political position.
And they, by they, you mean?
We're going to be voting.
Right.
But no, so yes, I think it will have an influence, just in terms of influencing how people think about whether they go vote.
Right.
And then if so, who they go vote for.
Right.
So I think in that sense, yes, it will have an influence. Unfortunately, ultimately, I do think there's also no dimension to it, and that is, when it comes to voting, people tend to still be very much voting in terms of their political party backgrounds. Ultimately, most people vote because they know who they're going to vote for, regardless of what. Well, we certainly often focus on, those swing voters, the ones who haven't yet quite made up their mind. I don't know. I'm probably not the right person to ask. I don't know whether those people will be heavily influenced, yea or nay, by the other. Yeah, I would like to be able to say much more strongly that yes, it will be the issue. It should be.
I think that it might increase some voter turnout, hopefully, because one of our big problems is that a lot of people don't vote, especially people who tend to be younger don't vote, which is, in my mind, especially problematic, because the reality is that whatever policy decisions are being made today are going to impact people who are young much more than the people who are old. People like us will be dead and gone in a few years, but younger people have their whole lives ahead of them, and policy decisions being made will affect their whole lives. So it's kind of ironic that the voting turnout is much lower among people who are younger as opposed to people who are older. But I think that this might see a higher turnout, partly because of the movement and partly because the country is very polarized right now. And when you have polarized elections, people who normally might not go out to vote feel strong enough to go out and vote. So I think that is the main way in which it's going to impact the elections. I also think that some of the debate around the elections is being impacted on by the existence of these movements. And people are being forced to take stands rather than sit on the fence about issues pertaining to the Occupy movement, what they mean and whether they should be supported and how far can they go and issues like that. So in practical terms, probably the most important impact is going to be voter turnout. This is just a guess. I might be completely wrong here. But I think that a lot of people who are participating in the Occupy movement are going to turn out to vote. And I think some of them might not have voted earlier because they thought their vote was not important, or it was not going to make any difference. The reality, of course, is that every vote is important and makes a difference. Even if your candidate doesn't win, how much he loses by makes a difference. So it's important that, and so I think that is probably going to be one outcome. And as I said, there's already been some impact on the debates surrounding the elections, at least at the periphery. Debates about why is the country facing the problems it's facing today. So we get very different perspectives from people who are from the Occupy movement, who tend to have a different set of explanations for why we are in this situation than people who are professional politicians. They have a very different way of explaining this.
Organize and identify a concrete list of policy goals. Without a concrete list, you waste a lot of energy, manpower, time, money pursuing things that never pan out. So I would say, organization and identifying a list of goals.
But you also think that that would help disseminate.
Well, nothing
right?
comes without cost.
I feel you. Yeah.
But I think in the long run, it would be in their best interests.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you need to have several movements. I think you need to have continued focus on active resistance. I think you need to have an Occupy movement that is willing to go out there, to be arrested, to make a fuss, to actually be loud. But I think that needs to be seen as equally valid as other approaches. So at the same time, you need to have just as much effort put into targeting very specific issues that might be achievable. Okay. I'm not saying the first one has issues that are not achievable, but I think sometimes they can be so grand that they're overwhelming to people.
Right.
And so when you're starting to talk about, the ills of the capitalist system, for example, if you're thinking about how, as a consequence of hyper-capitalism, you might have a huge focus on deregulation that contributed to the overall economic crisis, globally and nationally. That makes a very important point, but it seems to be so overwhelming as in how can we change that people tend to get put off. So I think that is a great focal point for galvanizing people who really, on par with some kind of an analysis that looks at global capitalist dimension, and it allows them to make the necessary noise to, if you will, wake people up. But I think at the same time you need to find ways, or we need to find ways of tying that fatigue in with the overall disempowerment of a large number of people who are disempowered by the current situation, but are not quite empowered by what they see as simply a protest movement. I don't know whether I'm explaining this right. If I'm thinking about my students, for example, if I'm thinking about students who are not politically science students, who have an interest in being able to have a future, being able to have a house at some point in the future, being able to sustain a job, all these typical everyday concerns that have been made much worse because of the global recession. But I think that the Occupy movement has really managed to bring to the forefront. And so in that sense, everybody sees the relevance, but not everybody sees the relevance of just one kind of action. So my question is, how would I get all of my students, not just a few, to take some action? Because I think it takes more than the hard work of the people in the Occupy movement. I know there's a lot of people in the Occupy movement. But in my classes, I only ever have a few who are actively.
Right.
How can I get the others to not just acknowledge that it's important, but to go that extra step to say it is so important that I will do something. So the question is, what is that something that we can get them to do? When they tell me, they feel put off by the noise that I think is so important. So in that sense, in order for the movement to be successful, I don't think it needs more leadership. I think it needs to build on the fact that the strength comes from its appeal to wide audiences, and I think it can strengthen itself even more so if it starts tapping into other movements that are working maybe through different means, but collectively are contributing to an even greater push for change. That I think could be a